If you're new to marketing as an artist, then this video is the one you've been looking for. What's good, everyone? It's great to see you guys back here on the channel once again. As usual, you're here with Evan, aka 3Van, aka your man 3Van, and I'm really excited to talk about this topic today. If you're a regular on the channel, just great to see you again. If you're new to the channel, just give yourself a round of applause for showing up today. I hope that what we talk about today speaks to what you're looking to learn as an artist in the music industry. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. So today's topic: how do I, as an artist starting from zero, market my music? I had the amazing opportunity a few days ago to network and get to know an artist on TikTok. He goes by D-Lo online to my knowledge, so that's how I'll refer to him in this video. But him and I had a great talk about just how to navigate the industry as a starting and upcoming artist. And as I was talking to him, I was like, this would be probably a lot better if it were in a video. So naturally, I decided to sit down and really just create a video to really talk about this kind of stuff for everybody who's interested in it. So to D-Lo, my brother, this one is for you. When he first reached out to me, D-Lo described a few issues that he was struggling with in terms of navigating the music industry as a small and upcoming artist, and just where to go in terms of next steps. And they were these issues: finding your target audience, where to push music to in terms of either distribution and or social media, developing the local fan base, and turning views into fans. We've all been there as artists, wondering where we're supposed to start, either if you've been an experienced artist in the game for many years now, or if you've been just in it for the past few years. It's not really clear where we're supposed to start as artists if nobody's really taught us. If we're going to be completely honest, nobody's really teaching this stuff out here. So all we really have to go off of is creators, other marketers, other people who've done it before and succeeded. But the only issue with that is you don't get real-time advice. You don't get the advice from people who are actually in the trenches doing this stuff each and every day to know this will work for me because it's working for Evan right now. And that's why this channel exists at the end of the day. So you as an artist can get information, data on what is actually working here in real time and converting people into fans, which is what we all want at the end of the day. And this will be a pretty dense video, so we're actually just gonna dive right in now. So the first question: finding your target audience. Finding your target audience as an artist can be a challenging first step because generally you go in with the impression that, oh, everybody's my target audience, but that's actually not something that we want to do when we're approaching this, because if your target audience is too broad in general, you're going to end up not getting pushed in front of anybody by any algorithms on any social media platform. So what we want to do is really start getting to the core of who you are in terms of relationship with your music. If we take D-Lo, for example, we want to start with the general broad genre that the music is operating within. So for D-Lo especially, he does a lot of underground hip-hop, so naturally hip-hop is the big umbrella that his content is going to fall under. But posting on hashtag hip-hop, hashtag rap, like that's not going to get you any real engaged listeners. You need to niche it down even more. So with that, we need to start looking at some artists that D-Lo sounds like. And I identified a few artists that he sounds like just within the underground hip-hop space. Artists like Summers, Osama-san, Blackboy Max, and just other artists of that nature. And we want to take those artists and plug them into a website that I use for a lot of data collection in terms of music genres, which is called everynoise.com. Link will be in the description below if you want to check it out. It's one of the most powerful tools I've seen on the internet just in terms of understanding what buckets of genres artists fall into. And you can put nearly any artist in there as long as they're clocking in at about over 100 monthly listeners. So by plugging in the artists that I associated with D-Lo's music, we were able to find a few small niche subgenres that we can use for marketing his music on social media platforms. By looking up Summers, I found two microgenres: plug, also referred to as plug and B, and glitchcore. By looking up Osama-san, we get the dark plug genre. By looking up Blackboy Max, we get plug and B, rage rap, that sort of Playboy Cardi, Opium, Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely sound that's really been all the rage in sort of underground yet becoming mainstream hip-hop. With these four genres that we have for D-Lo, dark plug, plug and B, rage rap, underground hip-hop, glitchcore, with these five that we have at our disposal, we can actually use these and we can pop those in the tags of all of our TikToks. D-Lo is going to find that he's going to get people who really start rocking with his music a lot more than if he was just to post on hashtag hip hop, hashtag rap, hashtag music. That's another one too. Everybody posts on quote unquote hashtag music. That's like the one you don't want to touch because it's so oversaturated. It's so overinflated and it's too general. You're going to get people who are looking into hashtag music that are maybe looking for country music, but you'll also get people who are looking for hip-hop. It's too much of a mixed bag to actually put like genuine attention into. After gathering all these genres, we can start doing some more niche research through TikTok. We want to head over to that platform first and foremost and see what type of content is really trending within that space. What is the most memorable content that's being created? What are some other small artists doing to make impressions? What can you do differently to stand out from them? This is where you'll need to either start getting creative with brainstorming or just head over to ChatGPT to start reformulating some of these ideas in terms of creating your own content. If you really find yourself struggling to make content, I genuinely do recommend utilizing ChatGPT to some degree, just because it will save you a lot of time in terms of actually coming up with content ideas and then being able to go out, shoot them, record them, post them, and actually get results from them. Once you have these content ideas, all that really comes next is staying consistent, leaning into your branding, which we actually talked about in the last video, and just learning from the data that's collected from your TikToks and stuff as well too. That's the biggest thing too. You want to be taking the information and the data you're gathering from posting consistently and know, oh, I have to pivot here. Oh, I need to keep doing a little bit more of this. Additionally, you want to find out where your fans or possible fans are hanging out. If your music falls into the underground rap genre, look at Discords, look at Twitch streams, look at Instagram's in a big one, but look at TikTok as well too. These three right here, that's where a lot of people within the underground hip hop space are really going to find the next song that they can connect to, that they can put underneath all of their fit pics, that they can spam their friends to go check out in Twitch chats and stuff like that. That's where these people are hanging out, and you need to get your music, or at least your online presence, in front of people so you can start getting that data, getting that information, see what works in terms of your music, see what works in terms of your content, and then you can really start finding your target audience in this way. That's essentially where I would start as an artist looking for a target audience. You want to start broad genres, niche it down, find your niche genres, use them as your tags on TikTok, see what content is trending, and find out where these people are meeting online or in person too. Get your music into those places so you can start making an impression and building that target audience. Now, the second question that Dilo was wondering about was where to post your music. Now, this seemed like a pretty general question to me, so I decided to categorize it into two main areas of study for today: distribution and social media. So we'll start with distribution, and at the end of the day, you want to be picking distribution that gives you the most opportunity to get your music in front of people. And certain distributors will put barriers to entry up for your music to get in front of people. And a place that you want to start is with the legality of your music. Do you fully own the music that you're using, or are you using stuff that needs to be licensed, needs to be sampled, needs to be cleared? You want to be really taking all this into consideration because it greatly affects the platforms that you're going to be able to post on. For somebody like Dilo, for example, most of his stuff is, to the best of my knowledge, most of his stuff is being produced by other people. So if those beats have been cleared, then he can look into legally getting them onto DistroKid, TuneCore. A lot of people like to knock on them, but the reason why I think you need a distributor like TuneCore or DistroKid is because they are the ones that can get your music onto social media platforms for content ID use the easiest. A lot of distributors will just mess around and waste your time and not get your songs up onto the content platforms when you need them there. Now, I found with DistroKid especially, they're good for it. TuneCore especially, they're good for it. Distributors like Too Lost, Lander especially is horrible for it. But I would go for those ones, DistroKid and TuneCore, just so you can get your music onto social media platforms and people can start using them in their reels. I found that TikTok and other algorithm-based softwares, they really affect your reach if you're using quote-unquote original sounds that aren't trending. And to get an original sound trending is another beast in itself. So I genuinely recommend using DistroKid and TuneCore to get your music onto social media content ID platforms. If you don't own your music, like let's say Dilo's beats that he's using for his songs aren't cleared, then we need to take the route of SoundCloud and YouTube to do this. You can still get your music onto TikTok, Instagram, those sort of platforms by using your original sound, but again, it will affect your reach, and that might be a risk worth taking early on in your career, just if you don't have the legality of it and everything. And then once you have a poppin' song, it's like, hey, can I get this beat cleared? It's already done 200k views on TikTok, and the producer might be a little bit more lenient and willing to hear out your negotiations for the beat. If you don't own your songs 100% entirely, definitely go the SoundCloud and YouTube route. Specifying your titles, descriptions, that this is produced by somebody else, just to avoid it getting taken down, and then that's a whole nother issue. But I would start with DistroKid and TuneCore if you own all your music. In terms of social media for where to post your music to, there is one clear-cut answer in 2026, and that is TikTok. Quite simply, TikTok is the platform where artists are really blowing up and getting people to come over to their music. I've talked about it a lot in previous videos, but again, my management team that I'm underneath, they've been testing TikTok strategies for the past 6 months, and 3 artists that they've been testing it with have literally been able to blow up to the point of getting major deals. You go to their Spotifys, all of their songs are above 1 million monthly listeners. TikTok is where it's at, guys. You need to start investing in TikTok if you're a creator of any kind, especially with music. Of course, you want to stay present on Instagram, YouTube Shorts as well too, but I would honestly use Instagram more as your sort of professional LinkedIn style platform where you're showing only the best off, and then YouTube Shorts, honestly, just repost the same content that you've used from TikTok and generated for TikTok. Just start posting on YouTube Shorts and seeing if it gets any traction as well. It's unlikely, but it literally only takes like 5-10 minutes out of your day to do, so I would honestly take the risk. It might lead to some huge gains in the future if you're willing to try it out, so I would definitely put a little bit in. Ideally, you do want to scale your TikTok account to 1,000 followers as fast as possible, just so you can get the link in bio into your profile, get people checking out your other platforms, get them connecting on other social media, get them streaming your music, get them checking it out on SoundCloud. Essentially, you want that as quick as possible, and if it does cost you a little bit of money just to scale your account to that level, I honestly think it's a worth it investment, because then you'll be able to start really getting real data from your TikToks, really start getting real people to engage, and really see if real people are engaging with your content as well too. That's the biggest thing as well. You can get those 1,000 followers and you might not have anybody engaging with your content yet. That is totally fine. Don't worry about that yet. You want to get to the point of the 1,000 and then start using the services that come with the 1,000 followers so you can start scaling. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second as well too. The next question D-Lo had for me was building a local fan base. And by local, obviously we mean in person. And there's really only way to build a local fan base, and that is to do something that a lot of us artists do not like doing regularly. Get out. With getting out comes 2 major roadblocks in the path to you scaling a local audience. If you're an introverted person who doesn't like getting out, who just kind of likes to float between the shadows a little bit, as somebody who's there too, I know how it feels. You're really gonna have to start stepping outside of your comfort zone and just talking to people a lot more, because that's the main engine of developing a local fan base is word of mouth. And if you really do care about your music and you're an introvert, you're gonna have to choose which of the 2 you're gonna want to pursue. Do you want to just continue staying safe, not really interacting with anybody, or do you want to build a music career where you can impact the lives of a whole bunch of people? So you have to make that decision for yourself. If you're in a city or town that has under 100,000 people, it's even more difficult because there's usually not an active music scene there. You might find yourself having to travel to like another big city that's nearby. If you're in somewhere like in Canada, Saskatchewan, or like backwater Manitoba, you're almost cooked. If you're in the States, if you're in Montana, Wyoming, North, South Dakota, you're probably cooked as well too. But that's why you see a lot of people moving to larger cities to sort of pursue the music dream, is because the larger cities is where you can actually start getting into some events, doing some events for yourself, meeting real people in real time. It's really honestly like a luck of the draw for some of us. Like if we were born in Montana and have the musical talent of Mozart and the only big city is like 20,000 people, it's like, you're kind of cooked. You kind of have to move to like a bigger city just to start getting that buzz going. Genre as well. This wasn't in my notes, but genre is another one to consider. If you're an artist who is operating within underground hip hop like D-Lo is, for example, there's not a lot of open mic hip hop events in certain pockets of the countries we are, especially in North America. In Ontario, where I am, there are pockets where it exists, but it's not this big mainstream thing. It's not like walking into a restaurant and you'll see like somebody playing like some song by John Mayer on an acoustic guitar for the 800th time this month. It's a lot harder to get out there and market your music as an artist if you're within hip hop, but it's definitely possible. That's why you have to leverage social media, which is a little more difficult. Something I have seen work though is to shoot your content in places where there's a lot of activity going on in terms of just public social movement. Bring a friend with you just to guard your equipment naturally, and just start shooting your content out and about. Have your music going out loud, you know, be fitted up, you know, like be really in artist mode, like be fully in your brand. But if somebody stops you and asks like, hey, what are you up to? Like, what's going on here? Like, just talk to them as a human being. Just tell them, explain that you're a recording artist, you're recording some content for the internet, you work within this genre. Ask them maybe what their favorite type of music is or what they do a little bit, and yeah, see if they maybe even want to just like pop in. Like, you know, if you get like an old guy walking by and you're shooting like an underground hip-hop video, just get him to like turn up with the music, and I'm telling you, that'll probably go viral if you can get that to happen. I actually, when I was shooting a music video back in 2025. We were at the skate park next to the auditorium in our city, and one of the guys there who was a skater actually came up to us and was like, yo, what are you guys doing? And we were like, oh, we're shooting a music video. And he's like, oh, that's so sick. Like, I've been wanting to get into videography for myself. Ben, if you're watching this, shout out to you. I ended up being able to connect with him on social media as well too. I checked out his stuff is fire as well too. But literally, just by being out in public shooting your content, you can make a new fan just by being yourself and doing things that help to push your content forward. So as scary as it can be, get out there and don't be afraid to shoot your content in public places and see if someone gets sent your way by whatever you believe in to engage with you and really just make a new friend, make a new fan out of that as well. Which actually brings us really nicely to the next topic. How do you turn your views into fans? And let me tell you, that is one of the most difficult things to do as an artist in 2026. Before we tackle that, let's actually reconceptualize what a view is. A view nowadays on social media is an impression. Is somebody just seeing your content? If somebody just scrolls and they see your content, that at the end of the day is a view and an impression, whatever you want to call it, but we're just going to categorize it as a view. And views can be achieved in real life as well too, even as like a person-to-person interaction. That could be a view. And if we're counting both in-person impressions and digital impressions as views, then we need kind of a way to tackle both of them. And we're going to start with in person. First things first, you want to find opportunities to talk about your music in person. Like, it's difficult, but you really need to start stepping out and just being more comfortable with who you are as an artist and just getting to meet new people wherever you are. There's a lot of opportunities to meet people out there. But when you go into these conversations, you don't want to lead with, yeah, I do music, you should check out my stuff. Like, you gotta be a little patient about it, you gotta be a little nuanced about it. First things first, learn about the other person before they learn anything about you. If somebody sees that you're genuinely interested and willing to listen to whatever's going on in their life, 9 times out of 10, they will reciprocate the question and ask you back, oh, what about you? And that gives you the chance to start talking about your music. And another key detail you want to remember in all this, describe yourself as an artist first. Don't say you're a student, don't say you're working at, tell them that you're an artist first. That communicates confidence in your skill set and vision for your artistry as well too. As you talk about your music and everything you do underneath that umbrella, pay attention to how they engage. See if they're asking more questions, see if they're like, oh, that's really cool and stuff like that. If they seem really, really engaged, get their socials from them. Don't say, oh, you should follow me. Trust me, it goes a long way. Send them a quick welcome message once you get their contact information to say like, hey, it was really great to meet you. Let me know if you just want to stay in the loop with everything I'm working on in terms of music, and build that digital relationship as you're building that in-person relationship. And back to the in-person conversation, let them know what it is that you're excited about and working on looking into the future. See if they bite in terms of being interested in that as well too. Once again, don't make the conversation all about yourself. Ask them questions about music in their lives as well too. Like, ask them what kind of music usually plays at work, like what kind of music they listen to a lot. Just figure out as much as you can about this person, because at the end of the day, this conversation isn't just a conversation impression view, it's data. It's data for what kind of people are around you in your community, if they might have connections, if they are interested and have knowledge of other genres that you might want to implement into your own music. It's data that you can use to help propel your career even further in terms of just your art, your content, your quality. So much can come from it that most of us just generally take for granted. So it's definitely worth diving in a little bit more and learning more about somebody. Make sure you find a way to engage with them again in the next little while as well too. Like, don't take the conversation that you start on social media and make it all about your music all the time. A lot of people will be generally turned off by that. Some people will bite. Some people will be like, okay, this is cool. But a lot of people generally, if it's a first impression especially, don't spam them with all your music. Wait to see them again in person one more time. You can bring up the music again, see if they ask any more questions about it. If not, that's cool too. There's always time to bring something up again in the future. At the end of the day, with building fans, you want to play the long game. You need to get ready to play the long game. You're not just going to instantly make fans. I don't think there's a single artist in my life that I've heard one song and decided, oh, I'm going to be a diehard fan of this person. You need time. They need time especially. You need to give them them more music to listen to see if they find something of yours that really hits for them. Again, just keep showing interest in their life. They're not just a view on your TikTok. They're not just a like on your TikTok. They actually are more than that. And trust me, people will appreciate that in the long run. And doing this in-person connection, it reflects what your intention needs to be across all social media. You need to be able to turn somebody from a view to a metric. That's what you want at the end of the day. It's the data. You want somebody who can turn from just a view to a like, a comment, a follow, a save, a repost. At the end of the day, on any social media platform, views aren't paying unless you're on YouTube. So you really need to start getting people to engage with the content, finding the people that will engage with your content, and just sort of leaning into those relationships even more so you can kind of count on them to continue providing you with that metric support as well. Most ideally, you want people who are actively commenting, liking, subscribing, following, and you're going to need to figure out ways to kind of keep doing that, especially within the digital space as well too, which is why you see so many artists sending those welcome messages when somebody starts following them on Instagram or something like that. They want to build that relationship right off the bat so people will start rallying around them and being kind of the wind beneath their wings as well too. In 2026, begging for followers is essentially dead. So you don't want to do that, because then you're just going to get clowned on online because of this culture. Like, you know, you're going to get 500 gifts that say, yo, this dude's a certified cornball or something. You know what I mean? The workaround for that is figure out creative ways to speak about your music and following in your content. Like, you could post something that says day 1 of trying to reach 1,000 followers, or post something that says thank you to everybody who followed in the last week, or thank you for everybody who helped me hit this many followers. Demonstrating appreciation across past, present, and future, that's going to get people to convert from just viewing your content to actually engaging this content, because you're subconsciously scratching an itch that people have in their minds for validation and attention. And a lot of artists underfeed people in terms of this. You can't really feed somebody attention through the music itself, so content gives you that opportunity to really start feeding them the attention that they're looking after via social media. Turning views into fans is one of the most difficult things that you're going to struggle with as an artist. People don't generally rally behind an artist unless they see like a quote-unquote party is already going on there, which is why it's important to do the 1,000 followers on TikTok, not just to get your link in bio, but also to start building up the impression that people are showing up, there's a party going on here, and do you want to be a part of it? Because once people see that the party's going on there, you're going to be able to get people who are fans of your microgenre, looking for music like yours, and seeing the party forming around you. Then there's no reason for them to not want to join the party, because the party has everything that they like and more. There's a rule in music marketing that's called the 110-1 rule, which says that for every 100 viewers you get on a post, 10 of them might be genuinely interested, but one of them is more than likely guaranteed to be genuinely interested. You want to pull those 10 people out of the crowd of 100 and show them the party. See if you can involve them in the party as well too. Really just engage them in a way that makes joining the party impossible for them to not do. Like, they'd have to be foolish to turn away the party. That's what you want to be able to do through digital spaces in terms of turning views into fans. One more topic that I want to tack onto this video as well too is actually about collaboration. Building mutual relationships where both people can benefit from it is huge for your career as an artist, and this video is actually literal proof of it. On paper, D-Lo and I don't really stand to gain anything from each other. He's an underground rapper with a still developing audience that isn't 100% solidified, and I sit here as a music marketer, promoter, artist who operates within R&B spaces, especially Christian hip-hop as well, who isn't really all that interested in underground hip-hop, if I'm being completely honest with you. Yet still, despite all these barriers standing in the way of us building a professional relationship, one is still been able to develop in some way. From our conversation on social media, I was able to get a new idea for a video, what artists are really looking to learn about, and what I need to be able to communicate them to provide them with value. For D-Lo, he was able to get a video with the information he was looking for, a new listener for his music, and a public recognition of his skills and an indirect cosign. There's 3 things that D-Lo has shown me just from our brief interaction that demonstrate why he's an artist that's going to succeed in the future. You take the talent, the humility, and the willingness to just take a risk. That is 3 qualities that a lot of artists are lacking in heading into 2026. And that's the reason why somebody like D-Lo is going to be able to cut through the crowd a lot quicker. He's not afraid to just take risks, put himself out there, and really just make waves in the industry by getting his music and himself in front of anybody who is willing to learn. How do we take all this information as artists and really proceed from it? Starting as an artist is difficult. There's no denying that. But with consistency, you can really start scaling to a level that you can depend on daily. These questions posed by D-Lo are ones that every artist is going to have to address at some point in their career, as I said at the top of the video. Turning views into fans requires bringing people who are curious into the party and building a party that is active and gives people FOMO if they're not missing out on it. Developing a local fan base involves leveraging in-person connections heavily and building equal mutual relationships. Finding your target audience involves deep research into your community and sound, and understanding where to push your music especially involves knowing your legal relationship with your music and if you need to clear it or not. If you are interested in developing more of the skills around building music itself, obviously somebody like D-Lo who's already established doesn't need this, but if you're somebody who's just getting your foot in the door, knows that they want to do music but isn't quite knowing where to start in terms of doing all this, branding aside, you need good music first. A place where you can really learn how to do that is my artist program, The Curious Artist. It's a paid course, but it gives you everything that you need to know how to do and how to learn it, how to do it from the start of writing a song all the way up to release. You're not going to find this information packaged in this way anywhere else on the internet, where the skills you're learning inside it are completely free resources. The only money you have to spend on it is to buy the course. Link is in the bio below. If you want to be able to lift the 100-pound weight that is building an artist career for yourself, you need to be able to lift smaller weights, and the Curious Artist is the thing that really gives you the ability to lift smaller weights in terms of your career. That's it for the video today, guys. Hope you learned a lot. If you're a small upcoming artist, if you're an artist who's in the thick of it right now, hope you're able to take away a lot of good stuff. Make sure you're taking notes whenever we're doing these videos. There's a lot of valuable game, and it saves you from having to coming back and watching the video all over again. Continue to network with people down in the comments. Comment where you're from, what you do as an artist. I'm going to pin D-Lo down in the comments below as well too, so you can connect with him if you're a fan of underground rap as well. Continue to tap in with my music as well too. I'm dropping a song every week. We're all in this together as artists, guys. Appreciate your time today, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.